Hi, how you doing? And welcome back to another video on the channel. What we have for you today is our wildcard team video going into game week 7. Kind of a bit of a fixture swing at the moment around game week 7, 8 and 9. So some of you might be thinking about seriously using your wildcard. Me personally, I'm going to be using my bench boost for game week 7. So keep an eye out for that in a later video over the next couple of days. If you are new to the channel, please do like and subscribe. It's awesome the support we get for a small channel. And let's get into it. So we're obviously going to be starting with the goalkeepers, and I'm going with Onana and Areola here. Now, I know Onana is maybe a little bit controversial in terms of Man United's consistency, but they do have some really good fixtures coming up, and they did just keep a clean sheet, albeit against Burnley this game week. They've got Palace, Brentford, Sheffield United, uh, Fulham, Luton, and Everton in the next 7. They do have Man City in there, but you know Man City will be playing teams this season, and you can always rotate your keepers if you choose to do so for fixtures like that. He has also dropped in price, which I find quite interesting, to be honest, because Man United, they're still Man United, and I do believe they probably will turn their season around. And usually when teams do that, they need some good fixtures, which is what they've got coming up. So I think it could merge quite well into defence, and I've gone with double Newcastle. I just see so much value in Newcastle defenders at the moment. Burn and Botman are pretty much nailed on, or as nailed on as you can get. And they also have fantastic fixtures. You've got Burnley next week, and then Palace, Wolves, and Bournemouth in the next 6. They're just, so cheap. I think if there were 5 million, you'd still be considering getting them in just because Newcastle are that consistent team, or at least they look to be getting back to being that consistent team. I've gone with Kabori in my starting 11 here. I just think if you're wild carding and you're going to need some cheap defenders and some cheap players that are usually going to be on your bench, but you might as well get in the players that have got double game week in game week 7. So he is one of them. I believe he got an assist this game week as well, so has got some sort of attacking threat moving forward. On the bench, I'm sticking with his Stupinan. Now, for me, he's got a tough few fixtures, just like you, Doggy, over the next couple of game weeks. But hopefully, we've got good defenders in that can cover for that in the meantime. I think the players that are nailed on, and they do have that attacking threat as well. Stupinan is proving that over and over again, even though I am a little bit concerned that, in terms of clean sheets, they don't tend to get that many. So I wouldn't like to rely on defenders. Um, just for their attacking output, but nobody's really getting clean sheets in the meantime anyway. So you might as well, go for those players moving forward. In the midfield, and I've gone with Saka, Madison, and Salah. So for me, they are so consistent and pretty much guaranteed points every week. I think if you can get them in your team, you absolutely must. If you could afford it, I think upgrading Madison to Son is also an option. But then, if you can have Madison plus 1.2 million as opposed to Son and not 1.2 million, it depends how you invest the rest of that money. But I do think that's something that you should probably go with is Madison ahead of Son. I've also gone with Diaby. I think really you want to get ahead of the curve in terms of Villa's fixtures. They're going to be boosted by the Chelsea win this weekend and having Wolves, West Ham, Luton, Forest, and Fulham in the next 6. I think they've got a difficult game week against Brighton, but I think you get on them now in a couple of game weeks. Everyone will be saying to get Villa players in. On the bench, I've gone with Hannibal. Now, he played 90 minutes this game week, and he's only 4.4 million. Man United's fixtures we've already talked about, and I think he is someone that if he is playing consistently, Man United have got some sort of issues going forwards in their attack. He is someone that could turn into really good value moving forward. Up front, I've obviously gone with Haaland. He should be your captain every game week. But I'm still sticking around with Watkins. He finally got his first goal of the season this game week against Chelsea. And even though he's dropped in price, if anything, that makes him more appealing for me to select in my team just because of those awesome Villa fixtures. He is someone that has been attacking consistently, getting returns in FPL. And for Morris, it's a bit like Kabore. You're not going to play him every week, but he is someone that's got quite a good price point and a double game week this game week. He is someone that you could move down to a 4.5 million sort of non-playing attacker. Maybe you go for Archer from Sheffield United, and then you can use that million elsewhere. But I do think if you're using your wild card this game week and getting in so many different transfers, he is worth the extra risk just for the upside of the double. So the team rating overall in Fantasy Football Hub, when I put the team in there, shout out to them, was 94% rated. Now, that's not as high as it possibly could be. I think a lot of that we'll discuss in the team weaknesses in a second. but the value is 99.8 million. So we have got a couple of players in here that have gone down in price overall, but do think that they're still, that if anything makes them more appealing. For me, the strengths are, you attack the double game week. I think this Luton game coming up in game week 7, I think you might as well go for it if you're wildcarding this game week. And I do have a lot of players in the team who are on form. You've got Haaland, you maybe even classify Watkins as that now, as well as Salah, Madison, and Saka. And if Newcastle can stay consistent, I think it's a pretty well-rounded team. For me, the weaknesses are potentially the bench. I think when you're looking at Udogie and Estupiñán coming in, you'll have two Luton players and 4.4 million midfielder on the bench. That's not ideal, but I do think you can upgrade them. You could take 1 million from Morris, maybe upgrade your defence a little bit if you wanted to. But your bench is there. You only really need your first player on the bench that's going to do anything for your team. And there is a tough couple of weeks for some. We talked about Estupiñán and Udogie having potentially a tough couple of game weeks moving forward, as well as Villa having a difficult game week 7. I think for me, ride out those first couple of game weeks. You're looking at a wild card for long term. I think that's probably why it's only 94% rated. But I do think if you get a team that is 94% rated or is in the mid 90s, I think that's good enough really to be moving forwards with. So yeah, let me know what you think about my team. Any issues that you think, any players that I've missed out on? Have I gone too much in terms of investing in Salah and Haaland? Is there anyone else you would maybe get in and spread the funds about a bit more? Please do like and subscribe. Hopefully this video has helped you out if you are wildcarding or maybe even looking at a couple of transfers this game week. And I will see you in the next one.